Greetings, everybody. It's Brother BA and Sister Ashanti, and we'll be bringing out redemption.
Yeah, restoration and redemption.
Restoration and redemption. And I'll be reading, and Sister Ashanti, we'll both be expounding. We'd like to thank everybody watching this live on the YouTube stream, and we thank those who are going to be watching this later on the recorded archive on the YouTube channel. We thank you in the name of Christ. Today we're going to talk about restoration and redemption, and we're going to start off in Isaiah 43. Isaiah 43. We're going to pick it up in verse 1. Isaiah 43. We're going to pick it up in verse 1. And I'll read. But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be here with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burnt, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. So, right here, we know this is the Most High speaking through the mouth of the prophet Isaiah, and this is a message to Israel. And what we're getting out of this is that he's saying that I am the one that's going to redeem you. When that time of trouble comes, don't worry about it. I am the one that's gonna. When you try through fire, when everybody comes against you, it is me, because you're being restored. Does anybody disagree? Any comments? Sis?
Well, the prophet Isaiah, it was before the time of the children of Israel going into exile, right? And even though the children of Israel had to go to exile, and it was prophesied that they would do this because they disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments and the covenant of the Most High, pretty much the prophecy is the children of Israel were in a dire situation where they're like, do we have to go through this? Do we have to go through this punishment? But the thing is, the consequence of the Most High, it has to come upon us, and it has to go, it has to fulfill its time. The consequence has to fulfill its time. Now, the Most High, he's a loving Elohim. He chastens the one whom he loves, right? The thing is, when we're chastened, we don't think we're being loved. It hurts. It's painful. It's like a dreadful situation. You don't want to go through it. So the Most High, even before you take your consequence or your punishment, he's saying, you know what? I am the compassionate El. I'm going to redeem you. I'm going to restore you. Don't fear.
But he said, I will be
the one to redeem you and bring you back. Even though you're going to be in this dire situation where you're not thinking in the future that you're going to be delivered out of this situation, you are going to be redeemed, and my hand is going to be the one that does it.
Like it says in the curses, Deuteronomy 28, it says, no man will buy you. No man will buy you.
Buy it. Okay.
So we understand that the conditions of Israel were under curses as a whole. So no man is going to redeem you. That's why, if you notice, when we come out and we say we Israel, a lot of people like to come against us because that's prophecy. No man's going to believe it. No man's going to buy you. No man's going to redeem you. Only, and we just confirmed it here in Isaiah 43. What matters, I matter, and guess what? I'm going to restore you, and I'm going to redeem you. So this is the point. So this is to stress that point.
Right.
Anybody else?
Well, one of the emphasis too is this is probably one of the clearest pictures of who we are. So I know we're saying what he's gonna do, but he's really talking about, I'm telling you who you are.
Yep. I'm gonna make you relevant.
Right. And so yeah, he's establishing for us, why no one can sell, no one can buy you, no one, because
it's me.
You're mine.
There you go.
I created you, I formed you, and you're mine.
That's right.
So we miss that part. Then we miss all the miracles, and then he talks about the things we lose and the things we gain, So, but we have to understand who we are.
Right.
So then he'll go into who he is, and so there's a clear distinction.
Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
So we're going to pick it up. We're going to turn to Psalms 23. Anybody else? Any comments? Anything that stood out? That stands out so far?
What you said next?
Psalms 23. And we've all read this before. Psalms 23 is classic. I remember this one of the very first scriptures in the Baptist church that
Right. I know we said these verses. Can we start at verse 1?
No, most definitely. Yeah, we start at verse. Yeah, to make
powerful.
context. Yeah, most definitely. Psalms 23.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna pick it up at verse 1. The good old classic. Good old classic. I'm picking it up at verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. There go that word.
He restores my soul.
He leadeth me in his path of righteousness. What do we understand that to be? Anybody? When I read that part, I'm looking at the Torah.
That's right.
Right? For his name's sake.
Come on.
Not just his literal names, his characteristics.
Hallelujah.
His character. See, this the thing with the Most High. This is where a lot of brothers who like to argue over rather his name, what it is or what it ain't, or what it could be or what it should not be. You're messing. What you're butchering is you're butchering the character. The spirit manifests through action. And the thing is that I have to constantly remind people of this. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, what stood out? They understood the Most High to teach them. His action was manifesting to them.
Hallelujah.
So it was never nothing about a name.
Hallelujah.
So when brothers and sisters or whoever it may be in your own individual circles come against you about his name ain't God, it's Adonai. No, it's about the character and the actions.
Right.
I always tell people, what language did Adam and Eve speak? So one brother said the creation language. What's that?
Yeah.
Holy.
I'm gonna keep going. Verse 4.
Verse 4.
Yeah, verse 4. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death,
Come on.
I will fear no evil.
Hallelujah.
For thou art with me, thy rod. Whoa.
Oh.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Hallelujah.
Can we stop right there real quick?
Cause yeah.
Rod.
The rod.
Now,
What's the rod?
Well, good question.
yeah, that's a good question.
What's the rod?
What's the rod, Elder?
Huh?
What's the rod, Elder?
Oh, that's what makes.
Okay.
Well, from my understanding, as far as what I understand the rod to be the Messiah,
Come on.
known as Christ.
Can I read
Go
something?
ahead,
real quick?
sis. Go ahead. Go right
Isaiah
ahead.
chapter 11, verse 1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to read out of the scriptures ISR version. Yep, Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. Says, and a rod shall come forth from the stump of Yeshai, or that's Jesse, and a sprout from his roots shall be fruitful. The spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and the fear of Yahweh. Now that's the respectful, reverent fear, and shall make him breathe in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge by the sight of his eyes, nor decide by the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness.
Righteousness.
He shall judge the poor and shall decide with straightness. Right? For the meek ones of the earth, and shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and slay the wrong with the breath of his lips.
Now, doesn't it say in Revelation?
Sounds very familiar to you.
Very
Somebody I
familiar.
know.
Yeah. Doesn't this also, if I think it's Revelation, that was Isaiah 11.
That was Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 through 4.
Now, doesn't it say in Revelation that Christ is the rod of thy strength?
Come on.
And we know that we understand Christ to be the rod of thy strength, or the arm of thy strength of the Father.
Hallelujah.
So when a lot of people come out and say that Christ is God, no, he's not the Father, but he is God because he is a portion of the Father.
Hallelujah.
He is a representation, an extent. There you go, an extension or a manifestation.
But that's the confusion part, where because they don't understand that the word God, as in also Lord, is an extension of his character.
Exactly.
So you can't make Yeshua God. You can't make him Yahweh because he's not him. He's an extension of
It's a
him.
representation.
Like we're a representation of our Father, but we're not our Father.
Exactly.
Right. We come from our parents, but we're not our parents.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And I was talking to Brother BA about this maybe last week or the week before, but our body parts, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's
our body parts.
Yeah.
Same representation for the Messiah. We can say, okay, our lungs have a function. Our heart has a function, right? But if our heart and our lung originally belonged to us as individuals, then you take it out, you set it on the table, right? You can say, hey, that's still Ashanti. Or hey, if it came from Brother BA, that's still Brother BA, because that's a portion of BA. So when we're saying that body organ that belonged to an individual, we're saying that it's not the individual in its totality, but that's a portion. So you're still equating that back to the original person. So that's how you can tell the Most High. The Most High is just awesome. Just the Messiah is a portion, a portion manifested to us, so that we can see a portion of the Father and not die.
Go to
Right?
Judges 13.
Yeah. Well, we working. Huh?
Judges chapter 13. And this is the account when Samson's mother was given a message from one of the messengers. I'm not gonna say angel. I'm gonna say messenger. And we're gonna pick it up at Judges 13, and we're gonna go to verse. Let's see. Let's go to verse. What is it I want? Is it 16? Hold on. It just came to me.
Verse
now.
8.
Yeah, let's pick it up at verse 8.
All right.
Then Manoah, this is the mother of Samson.
Because she's pretty much, well, the mother of Samson, she's barren. She hasn't had a child to render, to her husband and family. So she summons the Most High through prayer.
Most definitely, yeah.
Right.
And this is what she says. Then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, "Oh my Lord, let the man of God which thou didst send," hold on, man of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
"Come again unto us and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born." Now, prior to this, I believe.
You can start at verse 3.
Yeah, verse 3. I'm gonna go to verse 3. Yeah.
Okay.
And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, "Behold, now thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines." But the point right here I want to make is that notice how the Most High is going to use this individual. Right? Let's go to verse 6. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, "A man of God came unto me, and the countess was like the countess of an angel of God." Like an angel of God, right?
Messenger of Elohim.
Or some people say the Metatron. That's a whole nother conversation. "Very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither he told me his name." We're going to get into that though. "But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death." Then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, "Oh my Lord, let the man of God which thou didst sendest come again unto us and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born." And God hearkened unto the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God. Notice if you have a King James, it's capitalized. Angel is capitalized, right? And the God is capitalized too. So the angel of God came again unto the woman as she sat in the field, but Manoah her husband was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband and said unto him, Behold, the man hath appeared unto me again. Unto me that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife and came to the man and said unto him, Art thou the man that speakest unto the woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child, and he shall we do unto him? And the angel of the Lord, capitalize again, angel of the Lord, said unto Manoah, Of all that I said unto the woman, let her beware. She may not eat of anything that cometh of wine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I command her, let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, I pray thee, let us detain thee until we shall have made ready a kid for thee. And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, Though thou detain me, I will not eat of thy bread. And if thou wilt offer a burnt offering, thou must not offer it unto... let me read that again. Verse 16. And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, Though thou detain me, I will not eat of thy bread. And if thou wilt offer a burnt offering, thou must offer it unto the Lord. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, What is thy name? That when thy saying come to pass, we may do thee honor. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Why askest thou thus after my name, seeing it is a secret?
Woo!
For those, you guys understand the point we're going here? Because Samson is supposed to redeem Israel. But there's a point, it's a connection. We're going to get to it. Verse 18. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, 19, I'm sorry. So Manoah took a child or a kid with a meat offering and offered it upon a rock. Yeah. Unto the Lord, and the angel, capitalized, did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked upon. For it came to pass when the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar that the messenger or the angel of the Lord, capitalized, ascended into the flame of the altar, and Manoah and his wife looked on it, and it fell to their faces to the ground. But the angel of the Lord did the angel of the Lord did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord, and Manoah said unto his wife, We shall surely die because we have seen God.
It's like, man, we done seen the Most High. We gonna die, but why we still alive?
That represents an extension,
right?
Because it clearly said it was an angel, but at the same time they said we seen God.
Yep.
You guys get the concept?
And they still live.
So we understand this to be early. How should I word that? We understand that to be Christ. We believe that this angel or this messenger of the Lord was Christ. This is him in his pre-stage before he was known as Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to go there to show that Christ is through the whole book. Yeah. And if you refuse, then that's the choice you have made. But the Spirit has revealed this, not us. The Spirit has revealed this. Yeah, but now let's go back to Psalms 23.
Are you done with that, or you want to go?
Keep reading it.
No, we were done.
Oh yeah, we were done, but we got to finish up Psalms 23. Now let's go back to Psalms 23. I apologize for that long reading. You know what I'm saying? But it just came to my mind. So
It worked for me.
So we needed to read verse 3 and 4. Yep. We already did.
Okay. And I apologize for that if any.
So we was talking about, the question was
What is the rod?
The rod, yeah, and then
rod,
and the rod, and then that was another example of the rod, another extension.
So we go back. We talking about what the rod was.
Yeah.
So he says. So then the question was, would he ever spare the rod? As an act of love, would he ever spare the rod? Because the word says,
I think we're gonna get to that.
He never spared the rod.
That's
yeah.
right.
Never spared the rod.
Exactly.
You spare the rod. It's a proverb.
I'm gonna get beat
Yeah,
up.
If you're in the Baptist church,
Right.
you get whooped.
Right.
You're going to pick it up in verse 4. Psalms 23 and verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
That's right.
So we also know that the Most High is the original comforter. We
Come
understand that. And we know the Holy Spirit that Christ said that will come after his death and resurrection. That's the comfort too. Right. Comforter, right?
And not to fear. Because even though you're going through your distressful, stressful, depressive, oppressive situation, the Father is still with you.
Yes,
the
sir.
Father's hand is in everything that's going on. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Even through your consequence. But it's all for the glory of the Father. You know, the
Exactly.
Father is a Father of decency and in order. But he says not to fear. He's still with you. He's not going to put more on you than you can bear or handle.
Most definitely. Thou hast prepared a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So those who will be restored, those who will be redeemed, you will dwell in his house forever.
Come on.
And this is the connection that we're making with Isaiah 43. O Israel, you are mine. I am going to be the one that
Hallelujah.
restore you. Like it said in verse 20, back in Psalms 23, he said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Since he is your shepherd, he's going to be the one to make sure you need the things you need.
That's
you
right.
can read in Matthew chapter 6. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all the things you need shall be added unto you. So right here is just another example what Isaiah what the prophet Isaiah is conveying in chapter 43. I'm getting tongue tied. Sorry. Yeah, but anything else? Any questions, comments, observations? Sis, you got anything? Okay, let's pick it up. Let's go to Exodus, right? Is that Exodus?
Exodus 19.
Exodus 19. Exodus chapter 19. We're going to pick it up at verse, let's see, verse 5, I believe. And it reads, hold on. And it reads, now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Anybody? Sis? Got anything you want to bring up?
1914.
No, Exodus 19 and verse 5, Elder.
All right. This is actually, I like to say, the marriage covenant of Israel to the Most High Yahweh. It doesn't necessarily seem like a marriage verbatim. However, if you start looking at certain keywords, you know, if you do this, I have shown you this, I have shown you that, you'll be mine and I'll take care of you. I'll be your Elohim. That's pretty much a marriage covenant. And then the 10 Commandments are actually the stipulation or the agreements in the covenant. Right? So, he's saying, if, this is a condition.
If.
Right, the word if, right? You know, this is very much a condition. So, if you diligently obey the voice, my voice, the Father's voice, and keep the covenant or the agreement, right? Then you shall be a treasured possession, my treasured possession, above all peoples, for all the earth is mine. So the Father is saying, I own all this anyway. I created it. I own it. I made it. You're going to be my people. If you're my people, you're going to get taken care of. You know what I mean? Now, even though you might go through some turmoil, some trials, and the stressful points and moments, you're still mine. You still belong to me. I'm going to protect you and take care of you. Nothing more is going to happen to you than I allow. That's what the Father is saying. So right here, this is when we definitely became the Most High's. And when the Most High makes a promise to keep and protect, to guide and deliver, he stands on his promises. That's what I want to expound on there.
And notice in Exodus 19 in verse 5, keyword keep. Keep also means to guard and protect. Keep
And
it,
to do it.
protect it, and to do your actions. Right? So I want to go somewhere. Let's go to Psalms 121.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to pick it up. You know what? Let's just pick up at verse 1.
Okay. Let me read it.
Psalms 1,
Psalms 121.
120.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, bro.
That's okay.
If I wasn't clear enough. And it reads, in Psalms 121, verse 1. Will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Come on.
So if you keep the ways of the Most High, you will be that peculiar treasure, like it said in Exodus 19. If you keep the ways of the Most High, then you will be. He will give you the earth. That's where. And one thing about Israel, what a lot of people fail to realize, is that they were supposed to be a nation of priests, but the priests are supposed to be meek. In Psalms 37, it says the meek shall inherit the earth. Christ said the same thing in Matthew chapter 5. So the thing is here is that if you keep the way of the Most High, you have allowed him to oppose his will upon you, which means being meek. So meek is not weakness. And this is how he restores, and this is another way of him restoring Israel.
Right.
So you're supposed to be what? Just priests or kings and priests?
I mean,
Priest.
priest, because only one king, and that's the Messiah.
That's the Most High.
Oh yeah.
Messiah.
Christ, but the most High, and then he rules through Christ.
Melchizedek. Right? King of righteousness.
Yeah.
King of righteousness.
Yeah. We only got kings because, starting off in the book of Samuel, the children of Israel just wanted to be like the nations. I think the nations had it better, so they started asking for a king. And that's when the father said, Samuel, they're not denying you
They're denying the Most High. They're denying God.
as their king.
Or Elohim.
Or Elohim.
So we always supposed to be priests.
Priests. His messengers, his ministers to the nations, to teach the rest of the world. And then we only have one ruler, which is the Most High God, or Elohim, or whichever you prefer to call him. And Israel is supposed to be his priests, the ones who keep and guard his commandments and be a light and stand out and be a light to the nations. Everybody clear on that? I just want to make sure that we're not getting off topic. If there's anything that we may have messed up or you may not understand, please correct us on it, or have us slow down and we'll go back over it for you.
Yep.
So we're square? We're good? Okay. Let's go to Genesis chapter 18. Because let's go to an example of somebody who kept the way of the Most High. Genesis chapter 18. We're going to pick it up at verse, I said 19, right? Yep. You know what? I'm going to go to 17.
Yeah, that's
Verse
it.
17. Genesis 18, we're going to pick up at verse 17. And the Lord says, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Anybody knows what that means? Anybody?
You blessed?
Blessed in him.
Blessed in
Yeah, the fruit of his seed.
Yeah, but keep going. You're on the right track.
That's all I got.
Let's keep going. For I know him,
Uh-huh.
that he will command his children
Uh-huh.
and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord and to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he have spoken of him. So what is the Most High saying?
It's the covenant he made with Abraham.
Yeah, and he says, I know Abraham, and I know he gonna teach his children to keep my ways.
Right.
And that's why in the kingdom, if you read that, I think we brought up last week, when you read that story of the rich man and Lazarus, well, Lazarus was in the fire. Lazarus went off into Abraham's bosom, and the rich man went into torment. So that's just another indication that Abraham is the one that kept the way of the Most High, and that's why in that parable or that story that Christ talked about is the kingdom is called Abraham's bosom, or the inheritance of Abraham, or.
Well, there's actually some, historically about Abraham's bosom, but it was like one of those myths that one of the sects of the Pharisees picked up, and so the Messiah was actually using a story of myth. He was actually using a story that they believed in to
reach them,
to reach them and tell them about. So.
Well, okay.
We'll get into that later, but
I stand corrected.
No, it's all good. But I did want to say something real quick. It says the earth shall be blessed in him, in Abraham. If you take on what Abraham took on, pretty much the doing and keeping of the Torah in righteousness, you're gonna be blessed. Yep. So that goes back to Deuteronomy 28, the first 14 verses. We always hear people talk about the curses, but the Father wants us to walk in the blessings. You know what I mean? The Father wants us to walk in the blessings. So in order to walk in the blessings and have those blessings, then it's best to be obedient, be diligent, obedient in the word, and do what he asks us to do.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to stress that point because a lot of times we hear it's just the act of faith, the faith of Abraham, and the grace of God and salvation is how the nations will be blessed in Abraham. But here it clarifies, even along with that it's really you keeping the ways of the Most High, of the way that you really carry on the blessings of Abraham.
And notice, yeah,
that's man.
And so what's the way of the Most High? The Torah. And righteousness, that is true, but Torah. And the thing is, a lot of people say, well, Abraham had to keep the Torah. Yes, he did. Yes, now he may not have gotten it verbatim like Moses got it, but we understand that the way of the Most High is Torah. So Torah is not bound to just the writings on the stone. Right. It's not just bound to the record that Moses had wrote. Torah is spiritual. It comes from a spiritual being.
Hallelujah.
So, and I think that's the problem with a lot of
Spirit first and manifestation.
Exactly. And I think that's the problem with a lot of with the Christian doctrine. They tend to bound the spiritual teaching from the Most High to just this little box.
Yeah. Try to contain.
And you can't contain the spirit.
You can't contain a limitless
there's no
Elohim. That power,
But then when you do it, that's what we have. See, a long time we all know this. It was commonly taught we can't keep the laws or laws done away with. So what happens is when you live in a society that constantly, and America calls itself a Christian nation. So when you constantly beat people up with that, then guess what happens? Society's full of iniquity.
Yeah.
Same-sex marriage. But in the churches for a long time, the law's done away with. You can't keep the law. It was bad. It was evil. Now same-sex marriages have been certified by the law. Now they want to start fussing. Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
you taught that the laws was done away with.
Yeah, they upset their kids now. They upset their children. Gotta
you might as well take the blame. Yeah. I thought the law was so horrible. I thought it was so terrible. Yeah.
Now the parents are upset that their children have to go to public school and have to share a bathroom with men, with boys and girls, And
who are the main ones fussing? Christians. Yeah. They're the main ones.
They said we're gonna take the prayer out of school.
But that's because the law been done away with.
Yeah.
That's the results that you get. What you put in, you're gonna get out.
Yep.
That's simple.
My question is, if you saying we can't keep the law, why you saying we can't keep it? Why you saying we can't keep it?
That's a good question.
Yep.
Why we can't keep it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why we
That's
can't
an
keep it?
excellent
keep it?
We don't
question.
want to be righteous.
No, we want to do what we want to do. Yeah, that
boy.
is true. We want to, what does it say about
That's
Israel?
actually, that's
Is
a lesson
don't
right
it say in the
there.
prophets? Don't it say in the prophets that Israel want to do his own righteousness? Exactly.
They
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to do what's right
What,
then?
what did they do when they didn't want to follow what the Father said do? They said, went over here and made their own God.
And you know
Yeah.
what happened? He handed them over to their enemies.
He did. He said, I'm going to let you, let y'all go ahead.
Turn you over to your own. Beginning of Romans. Turn you
Over to your own reprobate.
Yeah, reprobate.
mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Turn you over to your own reprobate.
Be careful what you
Sir.
wish.
Yes, sir.
And so that's what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And they think that it hasn't happened before. We're seeing it now.
Mhm.
You've asked for this and asked for this
Uh-huh.
and asked
And that's
for
what.
this and asked
Now
for
you
this.
got it.
And now you got it.
Yeah.
And now you mad because you got
Yeah,
exactly what
exactly.
you
Careful what you wish for.
You were stiff necked in the beginning. Now all of a sudden, what my grandmother used to say, a hard head make it soft. You know what? All right, that's what my grandma used to say.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to let's go back to Isaiah 43.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter
Back to
43.
Isaiah.
The
Okay.
word say also that men love darkness.
Come on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about we don't be righteous. We just I don't want you to see what I'm doing.
Man. Man.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Is that Jeremiah 30? Yeah,
Jeremiah
I'm sorry, Jeremiah 30.
Jeremiah chapter 30.
That's that closet talk?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Jeremiah 30.
Jumped ahead of myself there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see the fire coming now.
Huh?
But then again, I'm gonna go back because when we were talking even Abraham, and we were talking about that before about I created you and then I formed you.
Uh-huh.
So when we're reading these, he's explaining Abraham's gift,
That's right.
not the man. So now here's what the gift is gonna do
Come on.
for eternity. So I created you and I made you, but because my Bible is amplified. It's like
Okay.
I made Abraham
Uh-huh.
and I made him to know me.
Come on.
So now Abraham knows, this is what he's telling us. He knows what his gift is, and Abraham knows what God is going to do with him. So there's no hesitation in Abraham.
Yeah, and then see the Israel, they hesitated.
Right.
And it's to where they gotta be restored. You know what I'm saying? But Abraham is the perfect blueprint on how to please the Most High or how to walk with Him. Okay, he said, "I knew Abraham."
That's right.
And he said, Abraham is going to, and I know he knows my ways, and he gonna train his children. So that's one thing we gotta remember too. Jeremiah chapter 30. We're gonna pick up at verse 1.
Oh, I thought you said 20. Okay.
I'm sorry,
No,
sis.
it's okay.
We're gonna pick up at verse 1.
Jeremiah 30.
And I'll get into it. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, "Thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the day come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, saith the Lord, and I gave to their fathers, and they shall." Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye and see whether a man do a travail with a child. Ask him the question. Wherefore I see everyone with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail. For that day is great. To that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
But he shall be saved out of it.
Saved out of it, right?
Come on.
For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds and strengthen.
Hallelujah.
But they shall serve their king. I will rise up unto them. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity.
Hallelujah.
And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
Come on.
So what we got? The restoration,
That's right.
the restoring,
Right.
the redemption.
Hallelujah.
He said, I will raise King David. So this is talking about what? The first resurrection. That's what it sounds like to me.
First resurrection.
The first resurrection.
There's going to be two.
Yeah, you have one when Israel will be restored, and then you have another one when the second resurrection when everybody else will be judged by the Most High through Israel.
Yeah, you read Revelations.
Revelation chapter 7.
The great day.
Start from 7 and read up to chapter 21.
Yeah,
The great day.
Revelation chapter 7. And then start from verse 1 and work your way on through. And then that clarifies everything. That first it's going to be the 12 tribes. The 12 tribes are going to be restored. They're going to be ruling. They're going to be ruling. They're going to have a seat in the judgment when the kingdom fills the earth.
The great day, just to answer that,
Yeah.
it's just a period of time of many things that takes place. It's not an actual literal day. It's a period of time. Yeah, he starts reconciling things.
And then we know this is the first resurrection because he said, I will raise King David, their king. So King David will be in the judgment seat. He will also be judging.
King David.
Yes, sir.
King David.
King David. You know, King David.
Thought you said there was no king.
We weren't supposed to have kings, but we did. We ended up having kings. Nah, he
I know, Elder always do that. Elder be doing that.
This is good. This is great interaction.
Yeah. Okay, David.
Sure you stay on your
Yeah.
toes.
Okay, David, son of Jesse.
Yes.
David, son of Jesse.
David, son of Jesse.
Yeah.
So that would be
He-
Yeshua.
Who? Say it again.
No.
Jesus.
Orion.
No. This would be David. This would be David. Actual David, the one that
But you talking about Revelation now, so we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. Revelation.
We're talking about what God has restored now.
yeah, he's restoring,
Because the throne of David or David's king tabernacle, he said was the only one he was going to restore again.
Yeah.
Because he went through all the churches
Yeah.
already, So we're talking about King David in a restored state.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, Hebrew names are a play on words too.
Yes.
So we might take it as David, but it's really saying the beloved.
The beloved.
Yeah.
Beloved king.
And it also could be saying the Messiah. Because we know the Messiah came to the bloodline of David. So I stand corrected, brothers and sisters. I stand. I apologize. I apologize for that.
Yeah,
See,
but
we don't mind
I was
correction.
just saying,
Yeah.
we're talking about in the New Jerusalem, in the new place,
Yes.
Yeah.
what he's restoring in this new kingdom. And so the throne of David, he says, I'm restoring it.
Yeah. Because he
Not
did.
literally David.
Right.
Yeah.
Not literally
But
David,
David's
but
kingdom.
right.
you know.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm restoring that. I'm bringing that back. And then we talked about, the prophets like who's,
Yeah, a lot of
the
symbolism.
transfiguration.
Yep.
Who was he talking? Moses,
Yeah.
Isaiah. Yeah, man. You can't be just diving in out of Revelations.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And also Ezekiel, too.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying, there's those are questions, but when we go into Revelation, depending on
That's
where
what
we
I'm
are,
saying,
we're
yeah.
talking about something that is restored that hasn't happened yet.
Nothing yet. Right.
Yeah. It has.
Right.
Yeah. This hasn't happened,
That's what I
but
said. Read Revelation.
yeah. And then I know. But this is also an account of the first resurrection as well. You know what I'm saying? Because Israel is going to be restored, and then we can read that account in Revelation chapter 7 when Israel will be ruling on earth. That's the first resurrection. So this is just, and we understand that it was spoken by the prophets first.
Right.
So that's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to. Yeah, that's all. I'm just saying that Revelation 7 lines up with it. That's
You
all.
cleared it up.
Yeah.
There you go. Right on.
Also Ezekiel, the last third part of Ezekiel.
Yeah, 37. Is that
37 through 40.
Yeah.
One is the heavenly. John the Revelation, the heavenly, but Ezekiel, the last, what's name, is the earthly one. You read it, you see it lines up.
I know what you're saying.
It lines up. He said, Son of man, speak to these things. And,
You dry bones, yeah.
you wonder how we all gonna get back to.
Right.
Well, because he's talking about in the form of the spirit. And so like when you talk about not actual King David, but even when we say Elijah, the spirit of Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so the spirit of Elijah, you know, and you know, the stop rain, call down rain, you know, we're talking about the level of authority in the spirit of what they brought. And there's certain things, there's certain spirits or certain prophets that he says, I'm bringing that back.
Yeah.
And there's other ones that won't be brought.
Mm.
So he's, you know, so yeah, he's gonna tell us what the kingdom is gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gonna be, you know, based on like David's spirit, Elijah's spirit. You know, I'm bringing those back because what we're reading about, they had, you know, just like we say, I asked the question now, but we say, thy rod and thy staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that the same word?
Yeah.
Rod and staff? Because he said rod and staff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Same word, but it's different meaning.
Well, that's the
Since
question you
that's
have to
your
ask
question.
because that's a study that a lot of people don't do. Because I've heard, and I haven't studied it myself, I can't prove, but what I heard was the rod being Yeshua and the staff being his authority.
Yep,
Or
the
we say
rulership.
Jesus
It's different
Christ
words.
and his anointing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think you could
you
read
got to
that too.
have
Is that,
both.
Yeah.
So I have to have
Genesis 49, the
his
scepter
spirit, but I
shall
have to
pass from
have the
Judah.
authority.
Yeah.
You know, we read in Luke
Scepter is
2,
the
like
rod.
the
Scepter
Lord
is the rod.
gave these
Okay.
things to me.
Okay.
And so I have to have the rod and I have to have the authority.
And
Lines up
I
with
can't
Daniel
prove
7.
it's also proper to understand the literal interpretation because it feeds off of it,
Mm-hmm.
and understand the ideal of a pastoralist
Mm-hmm.
and what they use the rod for and what they use the staff for.
Right.
'Cause
Right.
then it enlightens you.
Because he told Moses to raise the staff
Yeah.
to part the sea. He didn't mention rod.
Right. Right.
You know,
The
and
authority.
then
Right.
you go back to
Right.
The
The
Genesis,
authority.
the staff was a serpent,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and they do have different meanings. So when we go to Psalm, it's just an easy read. So
Right.
we get happy in the Psalms, and thy rod and thy staff they comfort. me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
But we focusing on I needed the comfort,
Yeah.
not with the rod and the staff. It's doing.
right. Who is
Exactly.
the comforter? Lord,
Exactly.
Then, like I said, when I'm being disobedient, then I don't want to hear about the rod.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, because that ride gonna get you.
Yeah, that correction, it don't feel good sometimes. Right.
Let's turn to Isaiah. Let's go back to Isaiah 43.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so keep your marker in Isaiah 43 because we're gonna be in and out of that. That's gonna be the core of what we're building on. Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah. Okay. And we're gonna pick it up at verse.
Pick it up in verse 5.
Yeah, let's go to verse 5. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Even everyone that is called by my name.
Come on.
For I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, I have made him.
So this answers a lot of questions as to why, like, people are like, well, why did the Most High make us? For His glory,
His will.
His will. When you create something, right, like a meal, for example, right? You creating a meal for your glory. You creating a meal so you can get nourished. You know what I mean? You create the creator of a meal is having that meal for them. Same thing with the creator. The creator made man for His glory. But
I want to add on to that because I believe it's in Deuteronomy that Moses explained how that when he set up the 70 nations, they all had a piece of the universe and they all had their a host that would basically govern them.
right.
But the Most High had no nation of his own.
Come on.
So, so he literally, even though he got, remember, don't, you know, you want to see him through his kingly state.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not just, you know, on every single, he's basically got a government, you know, a heavenly government, if you want to call it. But he had no particular nation unto himself.
So, right.
And that's why
That's where Israel's been called a special nation, a
Right.
peculiar
Exactly.
nation,
Peculiar people.
called unto him.
Yeah, right.
called by my name, because
Called
I
by
am
his name.
his name.
That's why he said there
Yeah.
was no other Elohim, there was no other power like the other nations, no other power that helped you but me. I did
That's
this
right.
myself.
I did it. I am the one.
Yeah, he's personalizing it.
And the thing is too, that's why he went so hard on Israel for when they messed up, because you gotta think about it. In Exodus 19, in chapter 4, 19 and verse 4, he said, "You have seen
That's right.
what I did to the Egyptians.
You have seen
Yes.
You have," and like I said, you got Moses walking around the camp, and you got this big old cloud following him in the daytime, and you got this big old ball of fire following him around the camp at night. You've seen all the miracles. You got the manna that came from the sky. You're eating the quail. I mean, all your clothes. You didn't have to even take a bath.
No, you
know,
had to take a bath.
but wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't
you
it,
had to do a mikvah. You had to
Yeah,
wash,
but
wash yourself,
did,
you know.
wasn't it?
But your shoes did not.
Their shoes, exactly. Their shoes
did not wear out. Your
Their
clothes
shoes
did
didn't
not
wear out. So
Yeah, I got
all these good things you did, all the good things that he did, rather.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you gonna turn against me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to curse you. I have to punish you
Punish.
because you have seen what I've done,
Uh-huh.
and now you acting like you've forgotten. So guess what? Now I got to hurt you.
Yeah, but they said he did all this to kill us. That's what they're rebelling against, right?
Well, think of the practicality. A lot of people in here are parents, right? When your kid disobeys, you actually chasing them or discipline them and get that rod of correction on them.
Correction.
But the correction is to get them to turn back to the righteous way in which you taught them to act or behave in the first place, right?
Train up the child.
And it's just like you said, as a parent, you really set the parameters first. Because you're
Come on.
first telling the children,
Come
don't
on.
touch this, don't touch that.
That's
y'all gonna
right.
say that. And then when you disobey, you really cross those boundaries yourself.
Yeah.
And you bring the punishment.
The trouble on.
You bring the trouble on you.
Because they already set the perimeters.
Right,
Yeah.
and the parameters are there to what? To protect you and guard you and keep you.
Yeah.
If,
Torah.
if this creator formed you, right?
Yeah.
He knows how your whole system is supposed to work.
Yeah.
He knows what's best.
Yeah.
So he knows what's going to have you function properly.
Right.
So of course, pay attention to him and obey him, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens after a while? What we're going through now as a whole, we're punished.
Yeah.
So he said, I have to be the one to bring you back because I am the one that brought you to me and you represent me. So I made you. So guess what? I'm going to be the one that's going to restore you.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to remember that too as well.
You know, I heard some other teaching, I won't say where I got it from. He said the father got tired of being alone, so he wanted to make more people like him.
Say that again.
You said,
Father was lonely, he went by himself, so he made more people like him.
and this is what you heard from somebody teaching?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, you know, because he wanted to, cause that's what he's doing, making us righteous like him.
I would say, I would disagree with that. Because he says, my ways not your ways and my thoughts not your
Yeah,
thoughts.
but he wanted us to be like him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly. But
That's what
oh yeah, I agree with you on that. But when someone comes out and says that he got lonely, only humans get lonely. the Most High existed before time itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You gotta take it. So why did he?
He said his will.
I think.
glory.
Well, next week, I think I'm gonna bring some things out on clarification, starting from Genesis 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
I'll help bring some things out, definitely, because we read the story in church over and over again of Genesis 1 and 2, but I think we've glossed at it like a novel. There's some in-depth stuff in there,
People say, it's like you talk about rest, and they say, well, because he got tired.
Yeah. It says he never sleep nor slumber. So what did we just read? Right?
Where?
No, we read in what's that, Jeremiah 30?
That
What
was
that Jeremiah 30?
Yeah, what's
He said
30?
never
Yeah.
sleep or slumber.
People read it like that.
He said he never sleep or slumber.
As
So
soon
I'm
as
like,
say
if
when he
somebody
got
never sleep
tired
or slumber,
he got lonely, or he got already. We ain't talking about
yeah.
saying God.
Well, could it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, could it also mean this? Because at that point, when Adam and Eve were created, right? Could that also mean that because it means he dwells in them? So could they be resting? You get it? And since because he says 2 or more witnesses, I'm in the presence. So it's not. Does it literally mean that he rested, or does it mean that those individuals that he is dwelling in rested?
Like you said, Yeshua got hungry because he hungered, right?
Yeah.
He got thirsty and hungry in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, that's, like literal meaning. When I know it's said, but that's how some people, read it because they're trying to reflect some on themselves. They're trying to explain how they feel about something. And so, Yeshua got hungry.
Mm-hmm.
What did he eat?
Huh?
What did he eat?
He didn't eat nothing. Well, I say,
But and then could that also
But that's
mean?
all they heard. They don't hear the
Yeah.
rest of it. They just know after fasting 40 days, he got hungry now. So I gotta go to get something to eat now. And that's what people hear.
Well,
Because I heard a different aspect of that too. I heard that he hungered for the word.
I'm not talking about the truth. I'm just.
I know. I'm agreeing. I'm just saying it's
Oh,
different.
that was Psalms 120.
Yeah, it's so many different aspects of that story. Because I also heard someone say, well, he hungered for the word, and I was like, well.
And so I'm just saying how many people talk about and clarify that for people. What did he hunger and thirst for?
Yeah.
After fasting, and so the subject was he was talking about. For some of us, he was talking about fornication. So after fasting, you need, husbands and wives, you need to get together.
Yeah.
Because you've been, so now you've been, because if you hungering and thirsting, whatever, you go out there, now you're vulnerable to some things. And so
Yeah.
They have to talk about who we talking about, because if we're talking about Yeshua, we talk about the Most High. We're not talking about them thirsting and hungering like we do.
Like in our natural carnal state.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So we know the real, like I said, we talk about they hunger and thirst. Technically, what the gift is, what the blessing is for the spirit.
Right.
So now, like I said, I'm seeking the spirit more than ever now.
Seeking the spiritual food.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring out some things next week. I think I'll do that.
But we might actually just need something to eat.
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
Let's go over.
But I stand corrected on when I said the father, the passage that says there's a father who watches over you, who does not sleep nor slumber. That was Psalms 121.
121.
Yeah. Okay, and Sister Marie. She asked where we were reading from. We're reading a few different verses, sis. We're talking about restoration and redemption. So as we go along in the chapters and verses in the books, we'll give you those chapter and verses to read from. But we're actually all together in the room. So I just wanted to tell you that, sis, and let you know that.
All right. And sis, what we're gonna do? We're gonna turn to Isaiah 40. What's that? 41. Isaiah 41.
Is it 49 or 40?
I'm sorry, Isaiah 49.
We're going to go to Isaiah chapter 49.
Yeah. Isaiah 49.
It's all good.
We're going to pick it up. Let's see, Isaiah 49.
How much better? Oh, we good. I got 50 left. Okay. Isaiah 49.
Isaiah 49.
All
And
right.
we're going to pick it up at verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I read. Listen, O owls, unto me, and hearken, ye people from afar. The Lord hath called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother, hath he made mention of my name. And he had made my mouth like a sharp sword. Sounds very familiar. In the shadow of his hand hath he hid me,
Ooh-wee.
and made me a polished shaft. And his quiver hath he hid me, and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified.
Come on.
Then I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for naught, and in vain, yet surely my judgment is with the Lord, and my work with my God. And now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant,
Come on.
to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. And he said, It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserve of Israel.
Come on.
I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles.
What? What?
Whoa. A
A
light.
light to the Gentiles.
A light to the
To the
Gentiles.
Gentiles.
Now, Israel was supposed to be this light,
Yeah,
We're
right.
still supposed to be
and
this light.
even to this day. But there's one individual. There's one individual that stood out and was a light to the Gentiles, and they call him Jesus. Right? Because that's the one name we hear. Right? Let's keep going. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth.
Woo.
Thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel.
Woo-wee.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
And his Holy One,
Uh-huh.
to him whom man despiseth. Okay? To him whom the nation abhorred, to a servant of rulers. Kings shall see and rise. Princes also shall worship, because of the Lord that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee.
Come on.
Thus saith the Lord, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in the day of salvation have I helped thee. And I will preserve thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritages. That thou mayest say to the prisoner, Go forth to them that are in darkness.
That's right.
Show yourselves, they shall feed the ways, and their pasture shall be in all high places. They shall not hunger nor thirst.
Come on.
Neither. You just got this.
Come on.
Get that something? They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. For he that have mercy on them shall lead them, even to the springs of the water shall he guide them. And they ain't gonna hunger or thirst, they restored.
Come on.
You get that?
And who's the living fountain of water?
That's a hint. It's a hint. Anybody? Verse 11. And I will make all my mountains a way, and my highway shall be exalted. Behold, these shall come from far, and lo, these from the north and from the west, and these from the land of Sinim.
Read one more. Read 13.
13?
Yeah.
Sing, O heavens, and be joyful.
Come on.
O earth, and bring forth into singing. O mountains, for God hath comforted his people.
Come on.
And will have mercy upon his afflicted.
We're gonna have compassion.
So we're not gonna be starving no more.
That's right.
We're not gonna hunger no more. Not when you restored.
Come on.
But when you are cursed and afflicted, you hungry and you starving. Why are we hungry? Why are we hungry and why are we starving? Because we are separated from our God right now.
Hallelujah,
as a whole.
man.
We're not comforted right now. As a whole, we are cursed. And what do we strive? We just strive his presence. We strive his spirit. We hunger for his word, his knowledge, his wisdom, and his understanding. That's what we strive for. That's what we hunger for.
So when I'm walking in his full glory, I won't have this earthly hunger.
Right.
Come on.
That right.
Now that lines up with remember when Moses was up in the mount and he be gone he fasted for 40 days too.
Twice.
And he was right there in the presence. He didn't need nothing because everything he needed, the actual force Yahweh, the unmovable object and the unstoppable force was right there. He didn't need nothing else but that.
That's why Jesus said when he was at the well, I have food that y'all know nothing about.
Oh, come on.
That was John chapter 4?
Yeah.
And we can go home on just that.
Man, yeah, shut the lesson down.
Right.
And this goes to show that the Messiah said, like he said in John chapter 7, the words I speak are not my own. They're my Father's words.
Father's will.
He was just coming in expounding and bringing forth some understanding and clarity on what was set in the foundation in the beginning, because he was there in the beginning. He was hid in the beginning. You just couldn't see the form of him, but he was there in the spirit the whole time.
Yeah.
He's a part of
We just read in the Psalms.
Come on.
He said, my rod and staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Rod. Come with that rod. I'm thinking about it.
He going back to the Baptist version.
I'm saying,
I'm thinking about it.
it could be, but we're still talking about the Messiah.
Yes,
And
sir.
the way
Come on.
You just need to get that out of your
gets the
head.
beat
About the beat down. Because sometimes even we walking about, we still have a rod of authority with us.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know, even when we, like I said, we're not conscious of our surroundings, or we may be in a place we ain't supposed to be in, but the promise is still,
That's right.
I'm still with you.
That's right. He's still with you.
Yes.
He gonna keep his word.
That's
Yes.
right.
The Most High's word.
Keep
Then
his
you
word.
know, then he do like just before something happened, he
Yeah.
wake you up.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, my word go out and it does not return to me void.
Yeah. And when the Most High
Right.
says something, it has to
It
happen.
happened.
It happens. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But even when we fast, we're really and truly fasting.
Mm-hmm. Come
We're
on.
not
Ooh,
we're not
he said
thinking
that
about
right.
food.
Woo.
Yeah.
Or if you're thinking about food, you might as well go ahead and eat.
Yeah.
Right.
You're supposed to
you're
be
not
on a whole nother
That's the
level.
word.
Exactly. Whole
Right.
nother
Yeah,
level.
when we're really truly fasting and we're walking in that
Yeah.
spirit,
Yeah.
I've had people came up to me with a box of Krispy Kreme, and I'm like, oh no, thank you.
Come on.
And then after I came on my fast, I still think about it. Should have got one saved for later.
But that's
But
how
no,
it
I
works.
mean,
He's a keeper like that.
yeah, it's easy, like I said, it's easy not to sin. It's easy not to do certain things if you're truly, spirit-led fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I'm not distracted or affected by the things around me, because I'm right here. And so it's still, the promise is still the same. There's a rod and a staff that's protecting me.
That's right.
Not a physical, maybe nothing I can see, because I don't see it in a physical Messiah standing next to me, but in the form of something that's manifested where like I said, there's a manifestation in me that I'm conscious of,
Mm-hmm.
locked in. And so, but like I said, he said, but when you come out of that,
Mm-hmm.
there's some things you need to immediately do.
Right.
So the whole, like I said, it's supposed to bring us closer to him.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So immediately
Right.
there's some things you do that you don't do something to fall back.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
Come on. That's a good word.
Let's go to Isaiah 41.
That's it. Oh. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if you want to do it before or after this one.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. What's up?
When he says, I will also make you a light to the nations, so my salvation can spread to the ends of the earth. What's your take?
A light to the salvations.
Oh, like
I mean, light to the
Light to the
nations.
nations.
Yeah, light to the. I go the wrong word. Yeah, I'm off.
Because you guys said something. That you said Israel was supposed to be the light.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah. We still are.
That Israel's wasn't the light, or not the light.
Well, they were. Well, in the sense they were, but the thing is, you're not a light when you're cursed.
Well, not your curse, but your function. You're not a light when you're assimilating into the other nations' ways and culture.
Exactly.
The Father in Deuteronomy, what is it 4? He said, go. When I take you to these lands, you got to destroy their pillars, take down them groves, don't do like they do the
Yeah.
abominations over there, right?
Don't act like
You were
them.
supposed to tear down all they little abominable, hateful altars of idolatry, right? But the children of Israel, when they went into the promised land, right, what'd they do?
Started acting just like the nation.
Started acting just like the
Now you
nation.
can't be a light to the nations
Right.
because you're acting like
You're
them.
acting like
I
them.
sent you to them, and now you're doing
Right.
what they're doing.
I sent you to them to turn back to me, to get them to turn to me and follow the covenant. Right?
All the light went out.
Exactly. So Christ,
all the light
we
went
understand
out.
Christ to be the true light because in John chapter 1 he said he was a light to those in darkness. So the thing is that he came amongst Israel. They were Hellenized by the nations, by the Greeks, and under the Roman rule. And he did not do none of the ways of the heathen. He did none of their ways. He walked Torah to a T, 100%. So that's why it says in Isaiah, was that Isaiah 49 we just read? He says, "You my servant." So Christ, we understand him to be not only just the son, but the servant. You're gonna do so Christ said, "I do the will of my Father." So he's the
Right.
servant of the Most High. He's doing the will of the Father, walking that narrow path. He said the narrow path leads to salvation, but the broad path leads to destruction. Israel was walking the broad path, and it led them to destruction. Christ walked the narrow path, and it led him to salvation.
Right.
So you got to walk that same walk Christ walked. You got to be a light just like him. So that's just brings some clarity to your question.
But in that passage though too,
That's a good word.
you know, because remember they were dealing with folks that were scattered,
Mhm.
and so they had the whole concept of the ankle lamp. You know, they walk with ankle lamps, and they say the ankle lamp, it was only a little bit of light. It was enough because they're walking in the desert. They don't have street lights,
Yeah.
flashlights, so it's only enough light for them to take the next step. They can't see out 15, 30 feet in front of them. And so with all the different things, like say walking in briar patches and, you know, snakes and serpents, you know,
Right.
they can only take one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're together,
Right.
those anchor lamps form a
Yes.
light that the people can see.
Yep.
Right.
And then they can
So
walk
sometimes
clearly.
it just simply
That's
means
right.
that you're scattered, you're not walking with together.
Yeah. Divided.
Right.
That's a good word.
But when we're together, we become the light of the nation. We become
Right.
a light that everyone can see, and now we can follow you.
Yep.
Because I can't follow no pin light.
Yeah. Like
Right.
Christ.
You know?
Like Christ said, "A house divided will not stand."
That's right.
Right. And so
Yeah.
sometimes it is like metaphorically. Sometimes it
Yep.
just means like, you know, we talk about the light. We still have a light.
Yeah.
You're still Israel, but
Right.
ain't nobody following you. You know,
Come on.
Exactly.
Your word, you know, no one's.
Because your actions and then you're
Right.
fighting over here and you're fighting over there.
Yep.
You're not even united in the Most High.
Yep.
Israel is supposed to be united,
That's a good word.
and they were not. So Christ had to come
So
and
then-
show
so-
them how to do it.
So then again,
That's a good word.
what are we following? Who are we following if we're scattered? You know?
Exactly.
And so, like I heard you saying that, like in we were talking before, you talking about Nehemiah. It's like I got to get you all to come back. I got to do something
Right.
to get
Right.
you all to come back, so
Right.
that we can walk together.
Right.
You know,
Good
so
word.
like I said, we fall in the cloud. We fall, you know, and if he say move and we move and you didn't move,
Yep.
you wake up, you overslept. Where'd they go? Well, you lost. So we
Make it simple, brother.
Right? No, that's
we
serious.
gotta
That's a
move
good
together,
word.
you know, if we're gonna
Yeah.
accomplish anything. And so if we're gonna convert someone,
Right.
they have to be able to see us.
See,
See,
right.
exactly. We have to be able to walk properly. Isaiah 41, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 21. You know what? I just noticed. Let's go to verse. Let's go to verse 20. We'll start at verse 20. Isaiah 41. We're gonna pick up at verse 20. That they may see and know, and consider and understand together that the hand of the Most High have done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it. 21. Produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reasons with the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them, and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come.
You done?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and explain.
Okay. That light, right?
Mhm.
We go to verse 20. That they may see
Right. See and know.
and consider and understand to get together, united, right?
Mhm.
That the hand of the Lord have done this, and the Holy One of Israel had created it.
Right.
Produce your cause.
Mhm.
What's your call? What's our cause when we're walking in this light? When we're united, when we're there, when we're walking, and when we're in the light and the darkness is around us, we're walking in that narrow path. When we're being restored. What's the cause?
The causes be the bride and the nation of priests.
Yeah, that's the cause. The way of the Most High. That's the
Mhm.
cause. You're doing it for Him. He's the cause. So you're teaching people His ways,
Mhm.
right? Verse 21 is produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring forth, and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come.
That's right.
Don't forget the things of the past when I read that. Don't forget the things from the beginning. They still stand. And it also says, they be that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things to come. Anybody? Sis?
I just wanted to say, like, the things that are coming, they're always told from the beginning.
Exactly. Forget the beginning. Is that Deuteronomy 32? Don't forget the beginning. I think that's Deuteronomy 32 where Moses was saying, don't forget the beginning. Don't forget where. It's somewhere. I have to. Don't quote me on it, but it's somewhere where Moses was saying in Deuteronomy 32, don't forget the things that were revealed before you or prior to you, or something of that
Right.
nature.
Because in the beginning, that's where the goal is pretty much foundational.
Like Isaiah 46.
Right. That's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I think this CJB kind of explains it similar. I don't know. Did you get anything a little bit different out of it?
You want to read that from
Yeah,
the,
go ahead and read it,
the
brother.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
complete
almost
Jewish,
like
right?
He's testing the rebellious king of Jacob, because he says, present your case,
Mhm.
Produce your argument. Says, Jacob's king. Then he says, bring out those idols,
Mhm.
have them foretell the future for us, tell us about past events, so that we can reflect on them and understand their consequences, or tell us about events yet to come. State what will happen in the future so that we can know you are gods. At least do something, either good or bad, anything
Mhm.
to make us awestruck and fearful. You can't, because you are less than nothing. Whoever chooses you is an abomination.
Yeah.
I arouse someone from the north, and he has come from the rising sun. He will call on my name. He will trample on rulers as if they were mud, like a potter treading clay.
What version are you reading from?
CJB.
The
Complete Jewish
Jewish
Okay.
Bible. So
Yeah.
it's just amplified. So when we're reading it, we always see God not capitalized. So immediately we know we
Right.
ain't talking about
The
Him.
lesser.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a dare, like when God told him, where were you when I was creating the world?
Oh, Job. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
question me, and so now, when the last time you created the world,
Right.
So now, it's just like a dare, like you guys say, we actually use gods. He says, so that we can know you are gods.
Right.
And so show us.
And then mine says mighty ones.
Right. Right.
So you
So
know,
idolatry.
show us, and so he's saying, well, you can't,
Yeah.
because you're not God.
Yeah, so if you're so this, then show us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I agree.
So the Father Yahweh is reestablishing that He is the true and living Elohim. He is the true and
only.
living power and deity
Yeah.
that has true power and being a deity. That He could see and walk and talk and smell and taste and and deliver pretty much. He
That's
can.
what I love about Isaiah, because he, like I said, is any confused about who he is. through, anything that's opposes God, and then he talks about it, and it's like, show me, show me your gods, where they, where are they,
Right.
And so they don't, like I said, you don't have no power.
Right.
Yeah.
You
No.
can't do nothing.
Can you do it how I did it? The
Right.
way I have done it. Prove your cause. I've proved my cause already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So walk. I mean, if you guys are so powerful, if you're so this, do it according to how I did it. Show me. In other words.
Or why are you even going over to these other mighty ones? Why are you even going to them when they can't do nothing for you? Why are you trying to go after them and follow their ways and acknowledge them and honor them when they're not honorable because they're not true in living? Yeah.
And so, we talked, I was talking to Dina last week, and we was talking about this. So, we've had people come through here, and they go out there, and you're looking for something, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't find it. Then you come back here,
Yep.
Get some more information, and then run back out there because you're looking for something. Well, what are you looking for? Because when you talk about church, you talk about word, whatever. So what you're really looking for is yourself.
Come on.
That's what you can't find.
Yeah. Can't find you.
So you go on all these other places looking for love. You're looking for this. You're looking for you.
Yeah,
Right.
like what's that song by?
You haven't looked in the mirror yet. Yeah.
This is a country song.
It's a song. What's his name? Jaheim. The guy looking for love in all the road places.
Yeah. That's a remake though. That's old.
Yeah.
We do that sometimes. We can name all of them and go around.
Yeah, exactly, yo.
So it's like
I know that
till
one.
they come back here with, this and that. It's like, man, we, this is what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
But because we don't look like a church to you,
Right.
and we're not going to provide
It's
the
not the
entertainment
classic.
that you're
Yeah.
looking for.
It's not the
Right.
traditional.
Right.
Back out
Not
there,
right.
then you get nothing,
Right.
and then you come back here because what you need is the word,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but what you want is entertainment, and we don't provide enough of
This
that.
is that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So you
Right.
won't sit long enough to understand anything,
Right.
And so we can do that if we were mean. Well, go out there, what people told us, you guys don't do nothing. I said, well, what is it that you guys do that we don't do? Well,
Entertain.
things in the community. I
Yeah.
said, man, we support our community.
Yeah.
But when someone passes away, we don't do car washes. I'm not washing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm too old. I'm my back. I'm
Serve
not
the
washing
community in other
cars.
ways.
So we can raise $100. I'll just give you the $100.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And another thing too, like you were just saying, how everybody wants to be entertained. And the thing is that I remember when I first started really trying to apply this to my lifestyle, a lot of various people say, you guys just sit there, just read heck of scriptures.
Yeah.
That's boring. I'm like, well, my goal is to know this word. So, well, I don't do nothing else. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Oh, Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers, the country song. That's what it
Oh,
says.
okay,
Sister
yeah.
Tammy said,
Sister
looking
Tammy.
for love. I said it was yeah, thank you, Sister Tammy. Sorry, we got the live. We
Yeah.
got people watching on the live chat. That's thank you.
But to your point, BA, what else are you supposed to do?
Sing and dance all day?
When you really think about it, if you do it the way he wants you to do it, then you don't want to do nothing else. I'm done.
That's clearly said.
Yeah. Play this simple.
All right,
I'm done.
You know what it is? I think you have to be in a broken and a contrite place to be at your most vulnerable, humblest place, and that's when the Father can impart His Spirit within you. And when that Spirit is imparted, when it's imparted in you, you're going to hunger and thirst after it. That's why
Exactly.
we can do what we do and read. Like people just see them as words on a paper.
Exactly.
We see, right? What we see is a spiritual aspect behind the black and white. And everybody don't have the spiritual eyes to see.
That's why
Getting
we always contrast words.
Mm-hmm.
So difference between happiness and joy.
Come on.
And you're trying to find happiness.
Right.
Well, Al Green,
Yeah.
he sang a song. You know, when you really happiness is when you really feel good about somebody.
Let's turn back to Isaiah 43.
He said, bring it back in, bring it back in.
Based on your question, he said joy is to be in the presence of the Lord. And
That's
so
right.
If I'm searching for joy,
Yeah.
and I'm in His presence and I'm in the Word, then I'm having fun.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I don't need to do a backflip.
Come on.
I don't need to do no backflip. That's crazy. I remember one dude in the Baptist church, man, the elder, still a good elder to this day, hit a backflip one time. I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. Yeah, he ran across the stage and hit it. Whew, I'm like, we're like, boy, okay.
Do with the church shoes on.
Yeah, he did it though. I was like, he had to practice that. Let's go to Isaiah 43. Back to Isaiah 43.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? I was noticing something. Let's pick it up at verse 8.
Okay.
Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled, whom among them can declare this, and show us former things.
That's right.
Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say, it is true.
Mm-hmm.
Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and my servant who I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed.
Come on.
Neither shall there be after me.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior.
Mm-hmm.
I have declared.
Mm-hmm.
I have declared and have saved, and I have showed
That's right.
when there was no strange God among you.
Come on.
Therefore ye are my witness. Notice how he keeps saying my witnesses, right?
Yep.
Saith the Lord, that I am God.
Come on.
Ye before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand.
Come on.
I will work, and who shall let it?
Wait. Read that again. The last line. You got that? Yeah.
I will work, and who shall let it? That's what I'm saying.
Okay. It says I work and who turns it back over here in my.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. We got different
Okay,
translations.
okay,
Yeah. The King
okay.
James, that's the other one.
Yeah.
The scripture, ISR.
Right.
And so the Most High is just stressing this restoration period. Gather all the people, and he's saying in verse 10, and he's talking to Israel. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen. We know he's talking about Israel right here. He chose Israel, right? That ye may know and believe and understand that I am he. Before me there was no other God. So when he sent Moses, it wasn't Moses that did it. It was the Most High, and he used Moses.
Come on.
When he sent Christ, it wasn't Christ. It was the Most High who used Christ.
Come on.
That's what he's talking about here. Verse 11. I am the Lord, and besides me there is no Savior. A lot of people, I know when I was growing up in church, we were taught that this is talking about Jesus is the only Savior. No, this is talking about the Most High God.
The Most High.
This is the Father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people say Jesus is my personal Savior. I mean, yeah, but really, who sent him? The person who sent him, he's the Savior. You know what I mean?
Right.
Christ didn't do it all by himself.
He's the vessel.
He's the vessel. Exactly. like my brother Zadok said, I'm
Right.
just a vessel, nobody special.
The vessel. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In verse 12, I have declared and have saved and I have showed when there was no strange God among you.
Right.
Therefore ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, that I am God. So who are the witnesses?
We are.
We are.
Because, for example, when the children of Israel, right, were in Egypt, Mitzrayim, right, they were
Captivity.
oppressed in slavery, right, and Yahweh, the Most High, brought them out with a strong right hand. He saved them. He delivered them.
Through Moses.
So he's saying these former events, you've seen what I did in these former events. You are my witnesses that I have done this before. That was me. So I set the precedent that I'm the one who's saving, And if I did it that time, I'm showing you my character and authority. I am Yahweh, I change not. I'm gonna do this again. I am the only one who's done this and will be able to do this.
Right.
There's no other one to deliver you, restore you, redeem you, right? You are a treasured people. Something that's treasured is costly, right? Like a diamond ring. If a diamond ring is costly, it's treasured, right? It's taken care of. It's treasured. Like you do the most craziest things to make sure it doesn't get lost, make sure it gets protected, make sure it stays shiny. You know what I mean? You look after it with your own life, right? Lock it up in a safe somewhere. So that's pretty much what's going on. It's the Father saying, I'm the restorer, I'm the deliverer, I'm the redeemer. Redeem is to buy you back. It says, I've bought you with the price. You are mine. You all belong to me. You are a treasured people. You're treasured above all. You are a possession that's just highly valued.
Yep.
Right.
And the reason why you can't get it right is because I say so.
Whoa.
Like, remember in the curses it said, not only will I rejoice over you to bless you, I will rejoice over you to curse you.
Ooh.
You walk contrary to me, I'm going to walk contrary to you because I chose you and I set you to myself. I bear you out on eagle's wings. I brought you out of Egypt. There's nobody else. And,
That's right.
And remember Moses, they said to Moses, whatever he say, we will do. You know what you done did.
Right. Saw what you did. Yeah.
So you gave him an agreement.
Yep.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yep.
And that's why those curses of Deuteronomy 28 are very, very important. The whole chapter is very important because it says if you keep if you keep my commandments, this will happen. But if you don't keep my commandments, this will happen. So we have to remember the conditions that we are catching today. It's the Most High. He's trying us.
Yep.
He's trying us. He's the one. All the things we don't have to get into specifics of statistics of what's going on, but we know it's because it's the Most High doing it, and He's provoking us to come back to Him. He's provoking us. I'm gonna try you. That's all He's doing. He's trying us. Like we got, and it's just and not to spend too long on this, but there's a
Yeah, we wrapping it up.
yeah
Go ahead.
yeah, but there's a bunch of individuals right now who are trying people who call themselves Israel, a bunch of Christian apologists. And I thank God for that because they are trying us, but the thing is that the Most High is using them to try us.
Yes.
That's all it is. That's how I look at it.
Deuteronomy 32.
Exactly. So
It says, I will provoke you.
Yeah.
I will provoke you and make you jealous with the foolish nation.
yeah. So I will allow other people to
Right.
try you to bring you back and understand who I am.
Right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to stress that.
But he always tells us that what the problem is, and it says it's real simple. When we read in verse 10, it says, you don't trust me.
Come on.
And so you don't trust me, because that's the whole reason why I'm trying to, you're my witnesses.
Right.
And so, and I'm doing this so that you'll know and trust me and understand that I'm He. If you take that out of the equation, he constantly stresses that even in the new covenant, it's like it's all about your trusting Him.
Right.
And then we go to the Hebrews 11 where that's all we're talking about.
Right.
Now
Faith.
we go all the way back to Genesis.
Exactly.
Like these are the ones who trusted me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is what they got.
Right.
So now you still don't trust me.
Right.
Yeah. So you gotta go. You have to be.
Right.
You have to go through all this turmoil just to understand that if you would have trusted me from the beginning, you wouldn't have to go through the turmoil.
Period.
It's Hosea 13.
I think we got how many more to read? You want to read this?
Yeah,
Right?
we'll just read 43 then close out with Colossians.
Okay.
And go from there. Yeah, because we didn't. Yeah, we'll just spend too long.
No, we good. We good. Sometimes you gotta let the Spirit do its thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sis. I believe you. I understand. Hosea chapter 13. We're gonna go to the prophets. We're gonna go to another prophet. Hosea chapter 13. We're gonna pick up at verse 1. When Ephraim spake, trembling, he exalted himself in Israel. But when he offended in Baal, he died. We know that's a spiritual death.
Yep.
And now they sin more and more, and have made them molten images of their silver and idols, according to their own understanding, all of it the work of the craftsman, They say of them, let men that sacrifice kiss the calves. Another form of idolatry.
That's right.
Therefore shall be as morning cloud, and as the early dew it passeth away, as the chaff that is driven with a whirlwind out of the floor, and as the smoke out of the chimney. Yet I am the Lord thy God from the land of Egypt, and thou shalt know no God but me, for there is no Savior besides me. He
That's
keeps
right.
stressing that. He
Come
keeps
on.
stressing it. I did know thee in the wilderness, in the land of great drought. According to their pastures, so were they filled. They were filled, and their heart was exalted. Therefore have they forgotten me. You just said it, Brother Durrell. They didn't trust him. They forgot him. Therefore I will be unto them as a lion, as a leopard by the way will I observe them. You walk contrary to him, he's going to devour you.
Yep.
I will meet them as a bear that is bereaved of her whelps, and will rent the call of their heart, and there I will devour them like a lion. The wild beast shall tear them.
Read the next verse. Yeah.
O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself,
Thyself.
but in me is thine help.
That's right. See, you didn't destroy yourself, but I'ma still be there with you because I'm a loving and a compassionate El.
And guess what? I'm
Mercy.
going to restore, and I'm going to restore you too, but in His own time,
Right.
not when we feel like we should be restored.
In a favorable time, right?
Yeah. Verse 10.
Stop there.
Okay, that's fine. So we got that. Now let's go back to Isaiah 43.
Just trying to,
Say again.
just wrap it.
Okay. This is gonna be the last one. Isaiah 43. We're gonna pick it up at verse 25. I am he that blotteth out thy transgressions for my own sake, and will not remember thy sins. Put me in remembrance. Let us plead together. Declare thou that thou mayest be justified. Thy first father has sinned, and thy teachers have transgressed against me. Therefore I have profaned the prince of the sanctuary, and have given Jacob to a curse, and Israel to reproaches. For what reason? Anyone?
Go ahead, yeah.
Well, keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's
Okay.
I was asking
let me
everybody.
see. Okay, you wanna wrap it up here or read Colossians?
Yeah, let's go to Colossians and we'll close it out. Colossians chapter 2.
Okay.
And then because we've been building, and I love it. The time is of the essence.
So you always have to note, especially in Isaiah, particularly 43, when he changes the name from Israel to Jacob.
Right.
It goes back and forth. So now, what you just read, the last one, he was talking about referring to you as Jacob.
The flesh. Talking
Right.
to the flesh. Colossians chapter 2. We're gonna pick it up at verse 9.
So this is the one who is talking about Messiah, pretty much manifesting, and is going to be the one who was prophesied to come to do this final restoration and redemption.
Yep. For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily.
Right.
And ye are, do you see the body, the fullness? And ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power, in whom also ye circumcised with the circumcision made without hands, and putting off the body of the sins of the flesh by the circumcision of Christ, buried with him in baptism, wherein also you are risen with him through faith of the operation of God, who have raised him from the dead. And you being dead in your sins and uncircumcised of your flesh, he quickened together with him, having forgiven all trespasses.
That's right.
Blotting out all the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross.
May I say what was
Go right ahead.
What
Go
was
right ahead.
what was put on the stake or the cross was the law of sin and death.
Yes.
So there was some portions of the Torah law that where if you broke them, you were punishable by physical death. He put
Automatically.
right. So he took to the stake the punishment of physical death for breaking the law of the Torah law. Go ahead.
That's
I
what-
just
just-
wanted to
now
that,
for that-
not
that's what-
not
yeah.
not the whole law was
Yeah, just the death part.
right, just the
And-
curse
and-
of the
and
death.
that's what grace
the
comes
penalty,
in.
right?
Exactly.
I just
Yeah,
I'd say that.
exactly. And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it.
Right.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat or drink, or in respect of a holy day,
Come on.
or in new moons, or of the Sabbath days,
Right.
which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ.
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
All right. So, anybody have any questions or concerns? Anything they want to add?
I know one thing. A lot of people go here and say, "See, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink." This is what they say, you can eat anything. No. When Christ was doing everything perfectly, when he did everything right, the Pharisees still attacked him. So when you are doing these things properly, keeping the Sabbath and all things like that, don't let those come against you. Oh, you ain't keeping the Sabbath right. This is what Paul is talking about here.
Well, let me add, this is in the city of Colossae. So in the city of Colossae, you have Colossians who are coming over into the ways of the Most High through the Son, Yeshua. And the authorities of the land, they're saying, okay, you got to still follow the laws of the land. And also some of the laws of the land had them, giving honors and rites and rituals to a lot of imperialist emperors. So Shaul or Paul is telling the new converts over into the way of Messiah that, okay, since Yeshua has done this, since the Messiah has done this, go ahead and follow the Sabbath of the Torah. Go ahead and follow the feast days of the Torah. Don't let the rulers
Tell you how to do it.
of the elite class tell you that you can't follow the Most High Yahweh and his Torah law. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what's going on.
Yeah,
But I just wanted to add that.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But then also he says, be sure not to condemn them
Right.
Exactly.
for what they do.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Because everything
Yeah.
Christ did, they condemned him, and he was doing everything according to what was written.
Right.
And they still condemned him. So that's why Paul is stressing, let no man therefore judge you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Christ fed the poor. They had something to say about that. They ate in the cornfield, and they were not breaking anything. They were breaking legalism. They were breaking that. But
Right.
and he didn't break the Torah. They had something to say something about that.
Right.
So that's what Paul is stressing here. But people will go here and say, you can eat anything you want. You can say anything you want. You ain't got to keep the feast days. You can do none of that.
Right.
They'll come and use this line, verse 16. They'll use it all day.
Right. So Yeshua, the Messiah, has redeemed you and restored you back to the Father through Himself, so that you get away from the imperialist doctrine and persecution, because they were being heavily persecuted. But we want to thank you for joining today's Sabbath lesson. May the Most High bless you and keep you, and may His favor be upon you. Until next time, we say shalom.
Much love and shalom. All right, close it out. You can just go ahead and stop.